So what did you notice about that? So some of the things were under there, right? They talked about some of the powerful questions. What did you notice? I'm sorry?
She listened, but she looked at him and he nodded to reflect that she understood what he said.
Yeah, so there
without
were
interrupting him.
right, and so there were nonverbals where she was nodding, she was engaged, she was forward leaning, right? Body language was a big player in that. Great noticing. What else?
She never really gave him advice. She just kind of prompted him along to figure it out himself.
Yes, she never said do this, right? Hey, you, whatever his name is, right? Dude, you report to me, do this. It was you figure it right. What's going to work for you? Okay, great. What else did you notice? Go ahead.
He was going to ask a powerful question.
Huh?
He was going to ask a powerful question.
He was, absolutely. Great noticing there too, right? He's going to go out and he's going to ask him, hey, what's going on? What have I done? Okay, great. What else?
She time boxed his action or approach.
Yes. So she time boxed the action. She said, hey, by the end of the week, whenever you get that done, let me know, right? And if you don't get it done by that deadline, I want to know that too, right? Not letting them off the hook, right? Just keeping that accountability strong. Go ahead.
She noticed that he was very nervous and stabilized.
Yes. So she noticed that he was nervous, right? He actually said that, hey, I'm nervous about this. I'm noticing that I'm nervous, and she that was good, right? It's good noticing, and she actually complimented him on noticing that. Excellent. What else?
She was non-judgmental.
Non-judgmental, yes, which is really hard to do, right? It's really hard to be non-judgmental. Great noticing, yes.
Although it was his request, she structured the talk.
She did.
Yeah.
And she did the three things that we talked about. Right? She started out with a topic, what is it you want to talk about? Second part was the coaching session where she's asking, using all those skills that we were talking about. And then she wrapped up with the, okay, here's the forward action. Here's how we're going to move forward.
Yeah, she used her knowledge of his character to encourage him.
Absolutely. And she didn't do it, so it was acknowledging, right? Excellent. And she didn't do it just once, she did it twice. She did it at the beginning, and that's where they had the thing acknowledging under there. And then she did it at the end, closer to the end of the session, where she acknowledged him again, a little different. I don't think it landed well the first time, and that's why she went back to it. Because the first time, he was off somewhere else. I think he was in his head. And so she actually acknowledged, she threw out that acknowledgement again. Great noticing. Go ahead.
I'm actually a bit confused about the judgments because she said many things like great, super, great insight, and so on. So she said many of those things, and they're positive, but they're still judgments.
Yes.
So somebody might be afraid that, like if that was a great insight, maybe the next thing is stupid, like
that's a stupid comment. No, I'm kidding. Absolutely, because that's something that I know I personally struggle with because I want to be non-judgmental. However, if you guys throw out good things that are good to me, I'm going to give you recognition for it. So it's really hard to be non-judgmental. I think there was no judgment from a negative aspect, right? It wasn't like they were condemning or she was condemning him in some way or saying, well, that's a stupid idea, right? She was actually very supportive and moving him forward. If he would have had what she considered to be a bad idea, how would you handle that as a coach? What do you think?
Ask a question for the expected outcome?
Yeah, well, so we want to avoid leading questions. What we want to focus on is asking another question. Okay, so that's
what
one
does
option.
It make a bad idea?
What's that?
What does it make a bad idea? That would be an open question.
Yeah. That could be. You could use something like another question on top of it, like what's another option?
What would make it a good idea?
Or what could you do to improve that idea? Something like that, where you can prompt them, right? Asking them what could make it a better idea is kind of judgmental as well.
But if you say great at 10 ideas and you don't say anything at a couple of them, then isn't that interpreted as that's not so great?
Yeah, and you just kind of move on from those things. And so as a coach, we're looking to be positive and supportive, right? And so we want the person to grow. We want them. If the concern is that if we are judgmental in a negative tone, all of a sudden now we've shut down communication, right? So we have to recognize who's in front of us. And the way I would coach one person might not be the same way I'd coach another person. There are some people who take that feedback, like critical feedback, feedback for improvement, they take it really well. Other people are, you can't really do that, right? Because it doesn't land well for them. You got to find another way to get that across to them.
Question.
Yes.
She was interrupting his thought pattern lockdown with physical touch ones also.
Yes.
Is that a good way, or?
I usually have it depends on the person, right? And that's part of, so they mentioned something early on, there was something designing the alliance. So I'm not going to touch anybody unless they, because that's an HR violation. I'm not going to touch anybody unless they've given me explicit permission to do so, right? And I'm talking other than a handshake or something like that, right? So I'm looking for explicit permission that I may tap your arm or tap your shoulder. That's a whole HR thing. Right? So I do my best to avoid that. That's a very good question. Did you have something?
I also had that there was the silence in between when he was struggling to bring out the words. She gave him the time to.
Yeah. Now yes. So she used silence. She didn't use it a lot because it's a really short period of time. So there were times where it felt like she was really peppering him with questions. And there were times where she saw that he was like grappling with something internal. She did use silence there. Good observation. What else? Anything else?
She understood the impact of the problem, and she emphasized it to him. So
yes,
you're afraid to speak up in meetings, and that's very bad.
Right, absolutely, right, and that's part of that went along with the acknowledgement because we want you to participate. We need you in there. We need you involved. There was also something in there where she reflected something back to him. There was a point where he said something and he was like, yeah, that just doesn't sit. And she reflected that back to him, right, and said, well, okay, it looks like that doesn't fit. Where are you at? And so she was helping him to see where he was in the grand scheme of things, right? Okay, so good example there of coaching, right? Anybody get anything out of that? No? Okay. Well, you'll get something out of this because this is your coaching skills exercise. So here's my suggestion: get into groups of 3. Why 3? Because what we want to do is we want to have 2 people coaching and we want an observer. So you're just asking, you first, and you're going to follow the format, right? You're going to ask, what's the topic? So everybody should have a topic, and again, it can be an MSU or you can make something up. MSU is my favorite acronym, make something up. So you can make something up, or if you have something real, use that. And so you're gonna form into groups of 3. So 2 people will be coaching and one person will be observing. It's really hard to self-critique when you're neck deep in a conversation. So that the third person is there to really provide a different perspective, to let you know what that person saw. Okay. So we're gonna have 3 rounds of coaching. It's gonna be like a 10-minute coaching and then a 5-minute debrief within your little group. Okay, and then another 10-minute coaching and a 5-minute debrief. And actually, we'll probably shorten some of these up because we don't have a full hour here. Person not coaching observes and take notes, right? So if you have a piece of paper or a sticky, there's stickies out there, use that and take notes. Okay, if you need to share this, then share it within your group. All right. Time box coaching. Again, we're gonna use those time boxes. And here's a reminder of the things that you're going to use. So remember, it's 3 parts to the coaching. What are the 3 parts to the coaching session? Topic. Coaching. Commitment. Yes. Excellent. All right. So now's the time where you self-organize into groups. Again, if you don't have a group of 3 and you want to do it one-on-one, that's fine by me. It would really help you though if you're in a group of 3.